Welcome to Geordie Lass and Doc Sass. One day, a Geordie and a Canadian walk into a bar and decide to start a podcast about relationships, and what a topic that is. No subjects are off limits. Get in touch today with us at geordielass.com or email info@geordielass.com and let us know what you think and what we should talk about. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello. Happy 2023.
Oh my word. Do you remember when it was going into the Millennium?
Oh.
And I can still remember, and there was this big kind of computer cyber thing where they said the world's going to shut down, and all of these computer IT bods were frantically working across the globe to try and fix some time glitch.
Oh my gosh.
That meant that all platforms wouldn't just fall over and all systems would die. I can still remember that, and it doesn't feel like that long ago.
No.
We're now in 2023. How did that happen?
You're so right. And do you know what? Waiting for Tonight by J-Lo was the song that was going at that time. So when I think about Y2K, which is for all the Gen Zs out there listening, Y2K was the thing, the big issue at hand. I think that all computers were just programmed as dates were 2 or 3 digits. They didn't account for 4 digits to account for limit. Anyways, yes, it was. We were all convinced that there would be an Armageddon, that planes would drop from the sky, trains would start moving, our computers would shut down. It was just, but somehow it ended up being not a big deal at all.
Yeah. And now all you need to worry about is cyber attacks.
Oh my gosh, totally.
We're in a whole new digital era of the world.
So 23 years, gosh, much has happened. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're just crossing a new year. Mm. And in the spirit of New Year's resolutions, because why not? But it's a beautiful time to think about, how do we want to step into the new year? Now, are you a goal setter? Or do you like setting goals? I'm not very disciplined, but I just wondered if you were.
Well, so obviously I am, yeah. So every year I set kind of about 5 things that I want to focus on. Mostly kind of 2 or 3 of them are the same that I do every year.
Right.
And I'm either kind of largely successful with those or I'm not. But then I also like to think of kind of, another couple of things that maybe I want to focus on in my, in the year ahead, in my life. And so I write those in the back of my journal. So I have a journal that I only ever write in when I'm sad.
Yes.
So the space between the entries will tell you how happy my life was or not that year.
Yeah.
And and I like to go back through some of I like to think of them as intentions rather than goals. And so I like to go back through my intentions, back through the years and kind of think, oh, actually, did I, how well did I achieve that? Did I stay on track? Did I not? Because I find it's just quite a nice exercise to do. It's a nice activity.
Totally. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Very cool. What do you think, or have you already set your goals for 2023?
So I haven't fully set them yet. I always like to have a bit of a period of reflection during I think Christmas is such a mad, crazy time, isn't it? And I don't know why, every year it sneaks up on me. And I don't know why, because it comes every year in December.
Yeah.
But I kind of get to that mid to kind of 5 days before Christmas, somewhere between kind of mid-December and 5 days before, where all panic sets in. And I kind of think, right, I need to get my house into gear and just make sure I've got everything kind of sorted for Christmas. So, and then obviously during the Christmas period, it's just you trying to kind of catch up with family and friends and enjoy your time, and there's always kind of so much going on. So I like to have a real period of peace between sort of ending Christmas and New Year, and then reflect on actually what is important to me in the year ahead.
Nice. Okay.
What are some of the things that maybe maybe intentions that I set last year that I didn't fully get there? What is it that I can do differently, or is that still a focus? Is it still a priority? I think sometimes we can get locked into intentions and think we have to do that, and I still haven't done it, therefore I still need to do it. But the question is that still something that's important to you? And if it's not, let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Oh, yeah. Letting go of the should.
So what about you?
Oh,
exactly.
it's a good question. So I think, embarking on this new year as a recently divorced person, with all the, so honestly, there's a lot of blank slate. There's a lot of blank canvas because, and I think what I actually want to do is really face that blank canvas because I can reinvent myself however I wish. But the terrifying thing is I have nobody but myself to account for when I'm putting colors on the blank canvas. I can't blame anybody else. I can't say, oh, I can't do it because of this person.
Yeah.
Everything is available to me. And that is hard. So, yeah.
It's exciting and scary all at the same time though, right?
It is. It's exciting and scary. So I want to be able to like really push past all of the, open all the windows in my mind to be able to consider like I could try on any hobby, any activity, any pursuit and just try it on. Because nobody is saying no, and I don't have to. And also, like, the things that I've said were important to me before, like if I wanted to sing or I wanted to paint, like, are those things really important to me now?
Yeah.
Because if I'm not doing them, just like you're saying, I got to let it go. Even if I trained for something before, you know, I can't bring 2020 into 2023 I've trained on that. I put a lot of effort in it in my past, so I should continue it forward and keep paying into things I've already invested in. No, don't throw good money at bad money. And 2023, I've got a whole new stack of freshly minted money and I can put that wherever I want. So I think one of the things I'm going to be leaving very soon to spend 5 weeks in Athens because I want to try out, I know, random, with my cat, me and my cat. And it's not warm in Athens. It's just not as cold as Toronto. But I want to try out being this person who, you know, coaching, right? It's a mobile profession. I should be able to coach from anywhere. Yeah. But until you actually commit and book the tickets to actually go somewhere else, then you become the person who's like, oh, I love traveling, but I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money.
Yeah.
I'm sick of being that person.
The trickiest thing is time zones though, right?
Yeah. Oh, so I will be coaching in the middle of the night.
Just make sure that they don't bite you on the arse.
Somewhat will. But I'm going to try it out. I'm going to be in Athens for 5 weeks and I'm just going to see what is it like to go and coach from Europe in the winter. Just see what happens.
Exciting times ahead.
Yes. But so working on my blank canvas, I think. Yeah. And also continuing to do the work of looking at my relationship that has ended and continuing to sort through the learnings, the difficult realizations. And, you know, I've come to a lot of very, very sobering realizations, like I have an unhealthy attachment style. Surprise. So, and I didn't realize, and avoidance was something that I did not expect to come up in the processing that I'm doing. And that's a lot to reckon with. So there's a lot of things about messaging from the past, and I'm having to start to work on seeing myself as lovable and deserving of unconditional love, because this be a pattern that will continue to repeat itself if I don't do this work. So I think 2023 is starting to infuse myself with this belief that I am worthy of unconditional love. Just a little thing. No big deal. No pressure, 2023.
You better bring it, 23.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got to bring it to 2023 because that's a whole shitload of hard work that I have to do. Like, nobody's doing that work for me, unfortunately. Got to do it myself. Yeah.
Oh, we're all working on something all the time, for sure.
That's the thing. Like Phil Stutz in the documentary Stutz, which I can't stop, quoting. He said there's 3 things that every human being on the planet is stuck with and not only can't avoid it, but these are actually the keys to happiness if you acknowledge them. Every human being will never be able to avoid pain, uncertainty, and constant work. We're always working on something. It's not a hardship. That is the source of our happiness, actually. Yeah,
it's true.
So how do you think about, I guess it's a little easier to think about goals when your life's been turned upside down. What about for folks who haven't had such a dramatic shift in 2022?
Yeah. I think the thing I'll say though about, being in your position and having been in your position, there's something really refreshing about the turn of a calendar where you kind of can almost separate all the shit that's gone on, all the heartache, the pain that you've been through to get to this position, which was a place of choice, but albeit it comes with upheaval and heartbreak along the way. there's something really refreshing about, the strike of the clock on midnight that just says, I've now got it all to play for.
Oh my gosh, yes. Hell yes.
And I think, I think they've done psychological research, I think, about how the turn of the new year, a kind of blank piece of paper, starting afresh, gives you that kind of renewed energy. It's almost within the mind itself. There's a reset, there's a point, it's a bit like, we kind of say, we start a brand new week every week. And in most places that happens on a Monday. So you kind of start that Monday morning with, right, okay, I can create this week. I can make this whatever I want it to be. And it's the same with the start of a new year. It's like, now's my chance to, I've got it all to play for. I've got it all ahead of me. I've got 12 months to achieve some of those bigger things that I wanted to achieve. Wow. Yeah. So I see it as quite, the start of the year is something that's quite refreshing. It can, it feels quite exciting. Wow. And as you say, we don't know what else might turn up during that period, but that shouldn't stop us from actually setting some intentions, setting some goals, whichever kind of frame of mind works best for you to think about it. What is it this time next year? Where do you want to be? What do you want to achieve? How do you want things to be different? So
right. And the feelings that'll go along with that as well. Like, how do you want to feel? Where's the state of being that you want to be in?
Yeah, absolutely. And, as you say, we've all got work to do. There are areas of my life which I know I need to work on. We had a big change last year as well in terms of moving in with a boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That requires some work.
Oh my gosh. You were through the ringer.
Especially when you've been on your own for such a long time, right? Then, getting to grips with that side of it does require some work. It requires things to be different. It requires more communication. The thing that we talk about all the time on the podcast. It requires more dedication, I think. It was easier before to just kind of always have date night, and when you live with a boy, it can be, you can see how that transactional side takes over. It does require a lot more intentionality to make the relationship still have some sparkle and fun in it, and not kind of washing and dishwashers and cleaning floors.
Yeah. Yes.
Like Cinderella.
Yes.
Please invite me to the ball.
Yes. Gosh, yes. Wow.
So I think, there's some work to be done around that. I think the other thing I would reflect on is, changing environment, changing in houses, locations, things like that kind of gets you out of maybe some of the more positive habits that you had. And for me, it's around kind of getting those kind of back in. How do I make things work in a different place, in a different space, with other commitments or time pressures? How do I kind of get back to maybe some of those healthier habits?
Yeah. Oh, yes, exactly. Oh, yeah. I don't know why I'm like, wow, I'm just really struck and blown away by, there's just so much in my head right now based on what you're saying. And I think one of them is like, starting out, we're all in different stages of change. Some of us are ending things. Some of us are in this very uncomfortable neutral zone of nothing seeming to happen, but there's internal change happening. Yeah. And then some of us are at new beginnings. And how do you start into a new beginning, flexing new muscles, not stepping into something like you in the same fashion that you did before, if there's certain patterns that weren't serving you, but also making very quick work of, when moving in with somebody, creating the us beyond the transactional. It takes so much discipline to still create us time.
Yeah. And it comes back to boundaries, doesn't it? Again, what am I prepared to accept? What am I not prepared to accept? Like, where are my non-negotiables? Just really thinking about that. But all of it comes back to, who am I and what's important to me? And that's the work that I think often we don't spend enough time looking at.
Wow, yeah. Yeah.
We've both got a bit of soul searching to do.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely.
But it's a great time of year to do it. Like, it just feels kind of like there's a renewed energy when you start the new year.
There is. And it's also, I'm starting to see like the seasonality of mood and of like everything as a season. Somebody was telling me about the book Wintering. So really sort of, another friend was telling me about to embrace winter. Winter is not this uncomfortable, like, oh, winter again. It is the steady staple up here in Canada. It's like winter lasts for 5-6 months. It is what it is. It can be very beautiful if you lean into it as opposed to always trying to avoid. I'm thinking about July or August. Complete manic, distracted months of like, it isn't the time to do deep soul searching, for me anyways, in July and August.
Yeah.
It's the time to distract oneself, beach, the easy life, the long days. But there's something so sobering, melancholy, beautiful, quiet, peaceful, where there's no distractions, that really lends to this period of reflection. Yeah.
I'm thinking cozy blanket, warm fire, notebook.
Yeah.
Maybe a little warming drink on the side.
Yes.
Just let things flow. Just write. Like one of my favorite things to do was just to write a stream of consciousness. So not any idea about answering any question or, writing anything specific or writing what I'm grateful for. Kind of none of that. Just writing anything that comes out of your head. And you don't even have to keep it, right?
So that, you
can write it all and then just hit delete.
And hit delete. You know what's funny is that my perfectionism enemy of good sort of thing has always been like, if you're going to write, it better look good. And maybe you want to publish it as a blog post and get some notoriety or recognition for it, because why do anything unless it's going to lead to something that the world can see? And that has always stopped me. I don't write and I don't journal because what's the use? And it was only recently where this concept, I guess some people are following the artist's way and they're doing their morning pages, but this thing that you talk about, like just write for the exercise, because the things that find themselves on the page will be things that you didn't even know existed in your brain. And I'm like, what? That's amazing that it doesn't have to be perfect.
Oh, absolutely. And I find it's easier if you do it typing, because you can write quicker than you can with a physical kind of pen and paper. Yeah. But, it's whatever works for you. But it's such a great cathartic exercise just to get stuff down on paper and see what pops out without any expectation to what it might look like. And, hit delete, tear up the paper, do whatever. Or keep it, frame it, do whatever you want with it.
Wow, yeah.
I don't know about you, but I feel ready for the year ahead.
I am.
That was a hard no from
Anna. I'm a little scared.
Oh, we're going to be with you all the way.
That's the thing. I'm glad. There are people listening who feel like me, just a little scared. Yeah. And we'll make it through. And it's
okay to feel scared.
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't know the difference between fear and excitement.
Yes, true.
Oh,
I can choose.
Just switch it up.
I can choose. So as that roller coaster is click-clacking up the track, and it's going up and up and up, and are my hands like gripped, white knuckles on the bar in front of me, or are my hands up in the air like, woohoo, bring it on, and it crests up that hill, and then you feel it. Oh, yeah.
You've got one in the air and one clinging on.
Yes. I do have a Klingon situation. I think that was like a joke that really made sense for people our age who really were either into Star Trek or adjacent to Star Trek. For all the people who know the Klingon references, let's shed the Klingons of 2022 and just release both our arms to 2023.
Let's do it. Alrighty. Yeah. So next week, normal service will resume. For any of you that have missed our hot topics and questions, they will be back on the agenda. Yeah. You need not worry.
Oh, no. There'll be more research, more scandalous.
There will.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Love Desk will be back reporting.
Oh, you've got it. Once she takes her fuzzy slippers off and recovers from that warm drink.
Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful.
All right. Till next time.
Till next time.
So that's it for another week of Geordie, Lass and Doc Sass. We hope you've enjoyed listening as much as we've enjoyed chatting. Get in touch and share your questions for relationship remedies and any hot topics you want us to cover. If you need help navigating all things relationships, Anna and Sarah are available for one-on-one coaching support. Email info@geordielass.com. Please remember to like, share, subscribe if you've enjoyed listening. And if you've not, how on earth have you made it this far? I promise we'll try harder next time.